Imagine crawling through utter hell. Imagine totaling dozens of vehicles, being ejected through the windshield of vehicles, crawling out of burning vehicles, hospitalizations, overdoses, incarcerations, homelessness, death. Imagine living in complete and utter hell. It sounds horrible. Sounds like something you would read in the news. In fact, this is the type of thing I wrote about in the news before I actually experienced all these things that I'm mentioning. What's up, everybody? My name's Brian. I'm a person in long-term recovery from drug and alcohol addiction, the most severe kind. I'm also a lifelong reporter. I'm a content creator. This is the type of content I create. In this video, I just want to break down for you all very briefly how I went from living at the absolute lowest point a person can live in society. Criminal, a pariah, social pariah. Nobody wanted me around. I've been to prison multiple times. My own family didn't want me around. I was destitute, completely self-driven. The disease of addiction had utterly derailed a beautiful career in journalism. And yet I stand here today in this video. What I'd like to share with you is how I overcame these obstacles to live a life of abundance, of complete radiant health, of having meaningful relationships, meaningful work, meaningful purpose, waking up in the morning every day excited to be alive. I'm going to break down for you real quick in this video how somebody goes from that complete polarity of negativity and darkness to complete positivity of selflessness, service to others, generosity, creativity, and a life of fulfilled purpose. But before we get started, man, I would love for your support. If you would smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, hit the bell notifications, just be a part of this. I'm here. This is really, truly, I'm creating this content to show others what is possible, that human potential is limitless. The stories that we were told growing up or raised with by the powers that be aren't in harmony with reality, with truth. That's what I'd like to share is truth. You can't force a person to receive a message they aren't ready to receive, but you can never underestimate the power of planting seeds. And what I'm here to tell you is that human potential is limitless, and that you can easily shift whatever your situation is. It doesn't matter. Mine's a primary example. Multiple terminal illnesses. I should not be here. I should not be alive. I spent 10, 15 years in absolute agony and had so many close calls with death. In fact, I even died and I was brought back multiple times. And today I live an abundant, free life of joy, of giving back and helping others. But it didn't happen overnight, because what had happened is essentially when I was born here on this planet, I was given a name, a birth certificate, a social security number. I was indoctrinated into the educational system. All the while, I've always known that something wasn't right here. I didn't belong here. This wasn't home. But I went through all this. They say, the saying is, when you're born, you're given a birth certificate, a social security number, a social security card, a religion, a nationality, and you spend the rest of your life defending a fictitious identity. And it's true. That fictitious identity on my driver's license, that is not who I am. I am consciousness. This universe is consciousness. We are all one. In fact, that personal identity that was imprinted on me is how I have escaped the life of negativity and death and despair, is because I've done the hard work, and I continue to do the hard work today of removing that personal identity from the equation. When there is no I, when there is no separate self, life is just a dream, man. I'm telling you, you have no idea the hard work it takes to switch polarity from negative to positive, but it is so worth the work. And I basically can boil this down in 3 basic steps. Not to oversimplify, there's a lot that I do. My entire life revolves around spiritual development. Manifestation is a constant. Synchronicity is a constant reoccurring thing. We are all one, family. We are all one. Humans are all one, and we are headed towards an awakening cycle. And what a joy it is to be here and to be sharing this with you. But the 3 tips that I have to share here today about transformation on the spiritual journey of one of ignorance towards one of walking in awakened knowledge of truth of who we are. Unbroken knowledge, not flickering, fleeting knowledge, but the constant presence and awareness that life is a dream, that we are all one, that I am consciousness, that when I'm done with this earthly experience, when this body returns to the earth, the body came from the earth and the body will return to the earth. And when that happens, I will go on to my next experience. And but in the meantime, my purpose is to share content like this and to encourage others on the journey that it can be done, to be an example of my creator's, my loving creator's power, that we create our own reality, that that personal identity is bondage. Burn up that social security, that this legal fiction that we are prisoners to this slave matrix, and that I became aware that when I became aware that the cage was made of thoughts, and then I held the key all along, and that everything I was seeking in drugs, everything I was seeking in drugs and alcohol was already unfolded within me. So I'll break down my 3-step process for spiritual awakening to transcend addiction and negative polarity, and to shift into positivity. Break it down. Trust God, number 1. Trust source. Trust your higher self consciousness, that you are here for a purpose, right? And the greater your purpose, the greater the level of difficulty. The more people you're going to impact, the more darkness you have to penetrate the darkness, as I did. So if you're in darkness, if you're in pain or suffering, it's because your path is divine. Here to help others. So, trusting source. I had a profound spiritual awakening in 2020, transformed my life. Kundalini awakening clearly activated memory of past lives, and also the understanding that we are undergoing a huge transformation cycle. Earth is heading into higher dimensional frequencies, and that life is a dream. And so I sought, during COVID, I sought my creator. As a drowning man seeks air, I sought answers. Why am I here? I knew that there was an intelligence animating this cosmos. I will be reluctant to use the word God, because religion and individuals with ego-driven agendas, religion, financial agendas, control agendas, have totally demonized the concept of our loving creator and turned it into a complete just ignorance and evil masquerading around as self-righteousness. And I'm not against it. I know it serves people at that level of consciousness, but religion really does not resonate with me. The great spiritual traditions of the world have a perennial wisdom. It says that basically we are all one, the universe is consciousness, and that life is a dream. There's a formless ground that animates everything, and I am at one with it, and so are you, and so is everyone else. So I trusted that. I sought that. You can't connect the dots. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So it's clear my path all this time. I've been divinely protected when I should have been dead. In fact, the near-death experiences are starting to come back to me, that I did die, I've been pushed back into this material realm, that actually consciousness exists in me, that I'm actually projecting this reality. My subconscious beliefs are creating this reality, and that I was able to survive this difficulty because there's a lot of people out there suffering who need support and guidance like this. That's why I'm like, putting this out there despite a busy schedule, despite the demands of social media. I'm like, this ain't about me. It's about you. It's about all of us. It's about the collective awakening underway. It's about the fact that I love you and I love humanity, and we can do so much better when we stop playing their game. So, another thing I'll touch on here real quick, the second part is clean house, do a searching and fearless moral inventory, and basically rectify my wrongs. The karmic action, the self-seeking behavior that led me down that path to addiction, right? That buried me in darkness and destroyed everything around me, carries momentum. So just going to church and getting baptized ain't gonna cut it. Never did, never will. It won't for anyone else. If you have the disease that I have, that karma carries momentum. So what had to happen was I had to reverse the polarity, and how you do that is radical did action in the opposite direction. So I sought to be of service to others, make amends, help others, create content, step into my dharma, step into my purpose of why I came here, which is to facilitate and help and to be a part of this. Okay, and so then that was the second aspect, and the third aspect of this, pretty simple, was help others. And so that kind of integrates with the first two. So if you're familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous, you'll see that this isn't something I came up with, right? This formula's been around for a while. Alcoholics Anonymous didn't even, I mean, they came up with the 12 steps, sure, but the principles, the spiritual tools that the 12 steps embody, the toolkit, is a perennial wisdom that's been around for ages. It's timeless. It's timeless. And that is that get outside of ourselves, help others, trust God, clean house, help others. And I know this video is short. You know, I've been watching a lot on manifestation, law of attraction. I know a lot of people out there are dealing with a lot of different things. Ascension symptoms, lack of sleep. I can feel it on a cellular level, man. This Mother Gaia is awakening. So I kind of want to make this kind of viewer engaged content in the fact that, like, I'm looking for pain points. I'm trying to keep my pulse to like what the masses are dealing with, but at the same time, these past 5 years, I have also been diligently developing myself. Meditation, breath work, cold exposure, fasting, semen retention, prayer. You know, I've been diligently developing myself these past 5 years. And I've kind of hit a block. It's like I've created abundance in my life. I've created new levels of freedom, health, wellness. Just, I'm living the dream. My relationships are restored. I have so many amazing people I'm connected to and helping and serving. But what I'd like to know from you is, what are some of the big blocks that you're dealing with? What are some of the pain symptoms? Because I'm in some of these Reddit forums with starseeds and wonders who I know are like me. I know there's millions of us here. And so I would like to know, like, what are the pain points? Because that's what this content is. That's what content creation is. It's really not about me, but it's about identifying the pain points of the viewer. And that's the only way that this is going to be successful, is if I figure that out. But in the meantime, I'm just going to continue generating content. I would love to hear from you all. Please subscribe, share this, and I hope you're having a wonderful week, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. Much love.